Good morning. Thank you all for joining us this morning, and I appreciate several of you from coming from a distance. It means a lot. It means a lot to us. And today we have several things to celebrate. And as I was thinking through what I was going to say, which is difficult for me, I'm not a man of many words. It all seemed to focus around visions. Um, First, American Way was founded 38 years ago in May. Second, celebrating John and his contributions to the company. Third, the completion of our second expansion on this building. And fourth, thinking ahead to the future. So I just thought about visions. Um, the first piece about American Way being founded 38 years ago, I never met Chuck Slinker, but hearing from some of our longtime customers, the stories that John would tell, and what I've learned from some research that I've done is he actually had a unique background that laid the foundation for the success of American Way. He had a very diverse work history in the industry, and he worked for the Selmer Company, which was in Elkhart, and he traveled throughout Europe working for, I believe, Rico at the time, and then returning back to Elkhart to work for the EK Blessing Company as the company vice president before leaving to found American Way in 1986. I also found that he had a love for jazz, and he actually helped founded the Elkhart Jazz Festival in 1988. So that was very interesting to me. But now coming back to visions, his thought of a company that specialized in band instruments and accessories at economical prices was pretty remarkable back in the 80s. Catalog offering at the inception was pretty small, focusing on Hamilton stands, ligatures, cleaning supplies for wind instruments. And then in 1988, just a couple of years later, he purchased the Super Slick brand, which was already fairly well known in the industry as a great brand. And his vision continued to expand the product offering of the Super Slick products, Super Slick brand, with additional care and maintenance supplies, and also custom branding for care kits for dealers. So that was his vision for American Way. And then when John entered the picture in the early 2000s, and from what I understood from him when he bought the company with Gerhardt, it wasn't an easy first couple of years for him. The loss of a large product line that drove significant revenues to the company was forced another vision to refocus on expanding all of the Super Slick products and enhance the offering for all of the custom packaging that we do. And then John's focus on product pricing, margins, competitive analysis, it really took the Super Slick brand to the next level, finding price points that fit and bulk discounts that made sense. His relationships within the industry also created um, new, new opportunities to grow um, and add additional product lines and brands. Many of the brands that some of our suppliers are here that we represent, we added at that time, which was great. Um, During the early years, the company also distributed musical instruments, and therefore a second building was needed to maintain operations. As this became challenging from a logistics perspective, and the accessory side of the business continued to grow, a new, larger building was needed to consolidate the operation. He and Kathy spearheaded this construction and moved just down the road from Pine Creek Road to our current building in 2007 of approximately 11,000 square feet. And then in 2013, the instrument distribution side of the business closed, and yet another vision of a company that solely focused on musical instrument accessories came to be. Some large projects for key customers came to fruition, and the first edition of the building was needed, which is what was in the back there, which added another 4,800 square feet, mainly needed for storage of bottles and raw goods. John also saw that a transition of leadership would have to be made, and he knew that Kathy would be the right person for the job. I know that John is watching over us and super proud of what American Way has become. Um, Fast forward 10 more years. Here we are. So I can actually recall a video with myself, Kathy, and Jacob just over a year ago. It was in April, I think. And we were discussing how the year was going and that we were having major space challenges again, and particularly with the pace the business seemed to be heading in. Kathy reached out to our landlord and asked if it would be possible to discuss an addition, and we never thought it would happen so fast. By this time last year, we pretty much had drawings. I was looking back at emails actually. By this time last year, we were looking at drawings, and by early July, they were moving dirt. This addition adds another 7,200 square feet. And so if you're adding it all up on a napkin, that gets us to 23,500 square feet. The focus and vision of the addition would allow for a dedicated space of each area of the operation. The assembly and production areas would be expanded to allow for future growth. The finished goods picking aisles would be reorganized in a fashion that would allow for lots of items to be easily identified and organized, with future growth space included. Shipping and receiving would be separated for efficient product flow, in addition to being modernized with individual packing and shipping software terminals. The first expansion would go back to its original roots for special projects and bulk storage. And our outside labor and raw goods processing area would be isolated and open for future expansion down the road. We've really been operating in the new space for about 6 months, but we wanted to wait to have this celebration when the weather turned nice. Of course, it's hot today. So far, the addition has exceeded our expectations. Everything is so much more efficient, way more than we anticipated. Thinking ahead to our future, my vision for the company is pretty simple: to be the expert authority on musical instrument accessory distribution in the industry. I think we have a real opportunity to continue to grow by continuing our premium customer service, make brands and products that are desired in the marketplace readily available to music dealers worldwide, and continue to expand our custom packaging and private label capabilities. We've got a great team of people that care, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. I really want to thank you all for your continued efforts and enthusiasm towards delivering to our customers. I want to mention outside, if you have time for our guests, we have two beautiful bushes that were planted just this last week. They are both Royal Star Magnolias and will grow to be 15 to 20 feet tall and about 10 feet wide. They're fairly fast growing, about 1 foot per year. One has been planted in John Musselman's name, and the other in Ayaz Mahmood's name. Ayaz was a very nice man that knew John well and was one of our longtime vendor friends. Additionally, I'd like to mention that we had a plaque made that's over there, hanging in the addition near the entrance, and dedicating the addition in memory of John. And now the big moment. Drum roll. Yep. And if you want to say anything, or if anybody wants to say anything, now would be a good time.
Well, you guys all know me well enough. I'm gonna start crying. So as I always say, John started a culture in our company that he let me kind of run even further than he would have taken things to a large degree. But it's established not just a good working environment, but an extended family environment. And as I've said in many meetings in front of vendors and customers in the past, and said that everyone around here is so important and critical to every day of our operation. We're all like cogs in the wheel, and if one isn't there, all of a sudden everything kind of gets a little whopper-jawed until we can regroup a little bit. But it's all of your efforts on a daily basis, and the caring and the kindness and everything that you put into building a customer order and getting it out the door timely is what makes us tick and what keeps our name in highlights in the marketplace. So thank you all so very much. And I do want to say, when we hired Tim on, I didn't really know exactly how things were going to go or what direction things were going to take around here. But after working with him over the past years and allowing him to run crazy with the floor plan of the new addition and reorganizing and everything else around here, I am honored to work with you. And I'm thrilled that you have the opportunity and the future ahead of you with such an amazing business. So, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Nicely done.
We've got some great food. We'll get it all set up over here, and everyone can enjoy and visit for a while. And there's, I think, plenty of seats. If not, we'll get some more out.
I think we set up cornhole and ladder.
Yes,
ball
in the
back.
first edition.
So,
Yep.
anybody wants to gamble their hand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down.